Welcome everyone to Meld. Before we get started, check out today's sponsor, Massdrop. They're a group buy website with some amazing deals on gaming hardware. It's free to sign up and they've got new deals all the time, so check that out in the description below. Okay, so Intel recently had their Architecture Day, where the company went over current and future products. During it, they discussed the future of their CPU architecture. What's interesting is that they unveiled a new next generation architecture slated for release next year. It's called Cove, and it's basically a multi-chip module very similar to AMD's Zen 2 that allows the company to combine multiple dies called chiplets into one chip. Also similar to AMD, they're able to combine chiplets from multiple size transistors. What this tells me is that while they're still promising 10nm Cannon Lake next year, it's clear the company is still having major issues with their 10nm process yields. Here's the thing though, the CPU conference wasn't the most interesting part. No. That belongs to their graphics cards, specifically their 12th generation GPUs coming in 2020. Now, don't get me wrong, the upcoming 11th gen is interesting as well, but it's the follow-up that'll introduce discrete GPUs. And at the event, we got a little more detail on them. For one, what the company originally called the architecture Arctic Sound is now XE. And don't worry, it's not the interesting part. Of course, it is nice to know that they won't be going with Arctic Sound, what I could swear was meant from their next-gen coolers. No, they discussed the company's plans to hit every segment of the market. We're talking consumer, low, mid, and enthusiast level GPUs all the way up to data center and AI. And Raja Koduri actually stated that their GPU solutions, quote, scales from teraflops to petaflops. Basically, Intel isn't dipping their toes in the water to test the temperature. Instead, they're going for a cannonball. Let's just hope the water isn't freezing or they at least brought their wetsuit. Next up for today, famous leaker Tom Apisak shared a few Geekbench benchmarks of AMD's upcoming 3rd Gen Ryzen CPUs. In particular, these are part of AMD's ultra-low power notebook SKUs, the Ryzen 3 3200U, 3300U, and Ryzen 5 3500U. Now, the main takeaway here is that Geekbench shows these parts as Raven Ridge, which means they aren't based on Zen 2 and therefore are likely just 12nm parts, at least given this is true, and that's a little disappointing since these parts, more than any, can benefit from the power efficiency of 7nm, but oh well I guess. When it comes to the specs, all of them come with Vega built in, as well as 4MB of L3 cache and a base clock of 2.1 GHz. The 3500U is a 4-core 8-thread part, while the 3300 and 3200U are 4-core 4-thread CPUs. The last bit of news is for all the Radeon GPU owners in the crowd, as AMD has released their annual update. This time, the company is sticking with Adrenaline, but added in 2019. And while it's mostly iterative, the update does add a few new features. For one, Adrenaline now supports game streaming for Android and iOS. So all those wanting to relax on the couch while playing your favorite game can do that up to 4K 60fps, given your network can handle it. The update also adds support for live streaming with VR along with memory and GPU auto overclocking. Lastly, it adds some performance boost for quite a few games. If you want to download the new driver, I'll have it linked in the description. And if you want me to test out the auto overclocking, let me know down in the comments below. So while that does it for today, what did you think in the news? Do you think Intel's new GPUs will be able to compete with both AMD and Nvidia? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, definitely make sure to subscribe. And as always, have a great day.